Hello guys, Zephyrdimension here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Legends, or the rather slightly tedious part of finding all the Pokemon in it anyway, and doing a full comprehensive list of where they all are. When we left off we were just coming onto Route 4, clearly we are there now, and heading into the patch of grass in the middle of the lake that you won't be able to do until you've beaten Misty, I guess. Is she the one you have to beat for cert? No, she can't be, she's a Kanto leader. Well, either way, one you can't get to... Oh wait, it's Morty for Surf, I think. Anyway, Pokemon I missed here equals Kangaskhan, which really took me by surprise. I never saw one of these. Because I did explore this area very briefly on my way back. Rather nice Pokemon to find so early on, because this is technically en route, on the main route, when you consider that you have to actually pass back through Dark Cave to carry on to Lavender, etc, etc. So yeah, rather surprised to see this one here, and it's fairly common as well. Found it with little trouble at all. Clearly it was the first Pokemon I needed that I found, and there's quite a few here that I did actually require. Not being very cooperative though, from the looks of it. Yeah, does like to break out a fair bit, even when it's asleep, which I always hate. Surely sleep should be like instant catch, but that'd make it far too easy. So either that or they'd have to nerf sleeping so it like never works. A bit like freezing. But anyway, enough about that. So, Kangaskhan being the first one, I think there's like 3 here. I didn't make any notes about this area, so clearly it didn't bother me too much that Kangaskhan was very uncooperative. But there is a Pokemon coming up that was extreme pain to come by, and almost tempted me to use a Master Ball, except in the other thing I save stated or something. Come to that when I get there though. So yeah, looks like this hopefully could be the one. Looking at my... Nope, next one perhaps. There isn't much left of this section of videos, so I must catch it soon. Surely. In fairness, I'm using Pokeballs and it is a rather normally scarce thing. That Kangaskhan, there we go. At long last. Gosh, how many Pokeballs did I use there? Like 10? That was a bigger pain than I remember it being. Okay. So, yeah, back in the field. That was a bit jumpy and jerky, but... Oh, and then we... Oh, that was weird. Mankey. Clearly, another one I needed. Surprised I missed this, because surely a Mankey isn't that scarce. But, there you go. There's quite a few here that I'm rather surprised I never caught before, like Goldeen, and I think I didn't have Magikarp either. Which is kind of like a rite of passage for Pokemon catching, pretty much. Ah, broke out first time, initially. That's a bit surprising for a little Mankey. But I guess I am. I guess it's level 14, I'm not putting it to sleep or anything, but I am using Full Swipe. I would like to play a Pokemon game where I don't end up relying on Full Swipe to catch Pokemon I've missed after a while. I do tend to do that with Pokemon games that I take seriously with the catching. And it does make it a little bit easier, I guess, but a lot of the time you would be spending, gosh, hundreds of thousands on Pokeballs otherwise. Here's Drowsy, which I think I did actually show on screen at one point during the LP, on the route back from Cerulean, I'm guessing. And I think it got away, or I never caught it, or I beat it by accident, something like that. Which I think has actually happened with a few Pokemon that I've witnessed so far. Drowsy's pretty interesting. I've never used one. It always falls off my radar with the Kanto Pokemon, generally. Every now and then when I'm really bored, I will do a little Sporkle quiz on naming all 151 Pokemon. Good way to pass time, I have to admit, when you've sort of played it as much as I have. Tend to miss Drowsy a lot, and Cubone. Cubone, gosh, I shouldn't be able to recite the ones I've missed, because in theory, that's why I missed them. But yeah, there's a few Kanto Pokemon that I will always forget and always kick myself for not remembering. Ponyta is another one. Never remember Ponyta or Rapidash. But yeah, anyway, Mr. Mime is the extremely scarce Pokemon I spoke of earlier. It took me ages to find this. I think I must have done at least one Pokemon Center run by this time for sheer lack of moves PP to use. So that must come to at least 50 Pokemon before I came across this. Although I did come across another one after this while I was checking for more. Because it looks like there's only 5 in this area, or am I? No, there is 6. There's a couple of areas coming out where it's only 5 for some reason, and it always threw me. I felt like I was missing something, but clearly I decided to hang around here for reasons I don't remember. And found another Mr. Mime. Like 2 Pokemon after I found this one as well, so I don't know if I was just really unlucky with it, or if I got really lucky in that moment. That is the mystery of Pokemon finding. Clearly uncooperative as well. I don't think it even gets an Ultra Ball. Don't think it's that high level either. Yeah, broke out first time with it being on low hit points and asleep. You can tell when a Pokemon bugs me if I put it to sleep. It's being really uncooperative. End up having to just put out the big guns there. Did I save state there? I must have done, because I didn't use an Ultra Ball. If I was playing this legit, I probably would have used an Ultra... Oh no, I had another one, I guess. There I save stated, but I might even catch it in this one, to be honest. 1, 2... Nope. Okay, clearly loading states. Yeah, if I was playing this legit, I might have been tempted to use a Master Ball, just for the sheer fact that it seemed so impossible to come across. In this area at least. I don't know if it pops up again later. It might do. A few Pokemon like that become really scarce in one area, but are really simple in others. Seems silly. But yeah, teleporting to Route 25, suddenly lots of stuff goes on and I am getting rather confused here. So many cuts here. What was I doing? I must have had a lot of Pokemon that appeared in the area. Invisible Misty in this area. I had to show this on the screen because it's really odd. Because I didn't run through the dialogue before I saw her, because she automatically appears in the gym anyway, she's randomly choosing to appear now. I'm not sure what part of the game triggers her appearance here, because she wasn't here when I went up to look for Pokemon and do the kimono stuff, the surf, HM. So something in the game must trigger her appearance there. Not sure what it is, but anyway, she was doing her speech about being interrupted on a date, but she was in her gym. So, yeah, that was kind of odd. I thought I'd show you that, just for memories. So yeah, Meow's down. Wasn't too hard. Although this area is an absolute nightmare for Pokemon. Oh, I hate it so much. One Pokemon in particular, which is by trade a very annoying one to catch. Oops, didn't mean to. No, let's cancel that out. Showing my thing there by accident. I will blank that out, I dare say. Don't need to see my Pokemon list. Just one that's I've self-compiled at least. But yeah, Cubone was a bit of a nightmare. It constantly flees, and I must have found it about 10 maybe before I finally got one to stay long enough for me to put it to sleep. I did wake up there for a minute, but I must catch it here surely, because otherwise I would have edited it out. I would think. There we go. Hoping it stays. I'm sure it must do. I don't think I would have made a mistake like that. Yeah. Would have had to start the recording all over again. Showing my list of Pokemon I've seen is one thing, but I don't think I could allow for a mistaken Pokemon catching attempt. Here we go. The absolute worst Pokemon I've had to catch today. This thing... Oh, it appears fairly infrequently as it stands, which it's fine. It's not terribly rare or anything, but it appears so little as to be annoying when it gets away, and it always gets away. I must have thought, no exaggeration, about 30 of these until I finally caught one. I ended up running off to, I ran off to the Pokemon League to buy a load of Ultra Balls. There I go, using one just because I was so sick of it breaking out of Pokeballs and buying more Pokeballs and breaking out of more Pokeballs. So I thought, forget it, I'm going to bring out the big guns here. Abra does not deserve an Ultra Ball because it is very annoying, but it got one, just so I could wipe it off the list. 30 encounters and it getting out every single time was too much. Even leading with Trevor and hypnotising it straight away wasn't enough. But here we go, Burn Tower. 2 floors, each with different Pokemon in it, which I always take into consideration when I look for stuff in multiple floor areas, but I think this is the first area where it's actually come into play. So yeah, you get Cyndaquil here, which is kind of awesome, and kind of weird because Chikorita was in the last route, in Route 25, last one we went to. Cyndaquil's in the Burn Tower, which is not too far away. Totodile doesn't appear until you get to like Pallet Town territory, so I'm not sure why that is, and I don't even know where the other lot are, probably in Kanto somewhere I'd imagine, Bulbasaur etc. I might have seen a Bulbasaur actually now that I think about it, I can't remember where. But anyway, yeah, these starters are surprisingly not too bad to catch. They have been fairly cooperative to my experiences so far, although this is only the second one I've caught, to be fair. So possibly too early to call. Anyway, it gets a bit choppy here because I caught the Cyndaquil initially on this floor, then immediately go down to the floor below and have a different set of Pokemon. I didn't realise it was going to happen until I got down there, and I got caught up in it, and I thought, rather than catch a Pokemon here, catch a Pokemon there, I'll just do the first one, come down here, catch this lot, then go up and catch the rest. If that makes any sense at all. It might not. Anyway, Wooper's here, which is kind of surprising, and yet awesome at the same time, because I love Wooper. Even though I've never actually used one, but I would never evolve it if I did use one, because Wooper is super cute, and Quagsire has annoyed me greatly in this LP, so so I'm leaving that for now. So yeah, this should be cooperative, I think. Yes, brilliant. I always misjudge. I've got the video, each Pokemon split up into different video sections, and I always misjudge how close it is to the end from the looks of it, because every time I say we must catch it this time, always breaks away. Anyway, there are a few interesting things in this area, including Larvitar, which greatly surprised me to find one of these this early on. Pretty amazing to think you might end up with a Tyranitar, although you don't. One thing about this game is, this hack, not a great deal of trainers. It seemed to me anyway that there weren't a great deal of trainers lying around, so yeah, I've got to the Pokemon League with Pokemon level 40s, I think. Something like that. Might have just been getting into 50s. I can't remember what level Tyranitar you get a Tyranitar, but I don't think it's earlier than 50s. It might be like level 70 or something like that. So I would have been stuck with a Pupitar for a long time, which is I don't like Pupitar at all. I don't even know why. I like Larvitar, I like Tyranitar, but Pupitar is just. I always thought it was a weird middling point for the two. Like, one's a tiny little dinosaur thing, the other becomes this weird. Then Pupitar becomes this weird spiky thing, and then Tyranitar becomes a huge dinosaur thing. So I never understood it. Maybe it's something to do with dinosaurs that I'm not terribly clued in on. I can't say I study dinosaurs extensively in my spare time, but I don't know. It probably they must put research into this, so maybe it makes sense. I shouldn't be picky about things I'm uninformed about. So yeah, a few more things. A match shop, which is kind of a bit bleh after finding a Larvitar, but I do like match shop. Whenever I have used one, I've never stuck by it through to Machamp because I don't know. I always tend to find stuff I find more interesting afterwards. But Mashup's always done me proud when I have used it, so it's kind of stable, but I do take advantage of him. Poor little thing. And then a bit more exploration. The other one... bit of item management. Oh, item finder stuff. Yeah, I might have suspected to find it. Some sort of hidden item thing, seeing as the dogs were there. The beasts, rather. As... I never know whether to call them the legendary dogs or the beasts. People seem to prefer beasts, just because it sounds a bit more awesome than dogs, I guess, but... when I was younger, I always called them legendary dogs. Yeah, I think they called them legendary dogs in the anime, as well, don't they? I don't quite remember. Mainly refer to the movie on that one, the third one, with Entei. I watched that over and over, and yet I only vaguely remember it now. But anyway, yeah, going slightly off topic there. The Gligar is another Pokemon I've always wanted to use. Now that it's got a decent evolution that doesn't look really weird, unlike most of the Gen 4 evolutions from the original Pokemon, I'm rather tempted to use one at some point, but just hasn't really been feasible in the past. I don't think I've actually got one in my Heart Gold is the one where I've got an extensive collection of Pokemon. Missing about 50, I think, in total, which is pretty much the best I've done in Pokemon collections. I took it really seriously in that game. 50 down, and one of them is, I'm fairly sure, a Gligar, which is a bit annoying. Or is it? I don't know. Is Gligar Soul Silver exclusive? I can't quite remember. Most of the Soul Silver exclusives are the ones I haven't got, because I brought that for my sister so that she would go through it. Got a few trades from friends. I think I got Teddy Ursa through a trade and Ladybird through a trade from a friend, but yeah, Quartz Zubat, that's enough for now. We'll see you next time for more areas. Thank you, bye!